All right, so we're on page 3. What do we know about the three angles inside of a triangle? They add up to 180. So go ahead and name one of my angles. 90. So we got a 90-degree angle. What's another angle I have?
37.
X plus 37. And then x plus 67. Good. And then all three of these will add up to 180. Combine like terms. Let's combine the numbers first. We got 90, 37, and 67. So what does that make? 194. Then we have x plus x, which makes 2x. And that equals 180. What's my next step? Subtract 194. So 2x equals negative 14. So then x equals negative 7. Did it ask what x was? No, it asked the measure of angle A. It says it right here. So I'm going to plug it in. So angle A used to be x plus 37. So we're going to plug in 4x. What is negative 7 plus 37? 30 degrees. Good. A way you could check this is plugging it in everywhere. You could plug it in over here. Negative 7 plus 67 makes 60. What's 60 plus 30? 90. And then plus 90 is 180. All right. Go ahead and take out your homework and a red pen. A right triangle. So I want to draw a right triangle. Go ahead. A right triangle. Then we need to break down what it says. The measure of one of the acute angles is 12 more than 3 times the measure of the other. So here's what we do one thing at a time. Let's start with 12. What does 12 mean? 12. Okay, good. We're all on the same page. 12, and then it says more than. What mathematical property is more than? Addition. 12 more than 3 times. So 3 times is multiplication. So we're going to be multiplying times something. 3 times something. What is that something?
Yes.
The measure of the other angle. Do we know it? No, so we will call it x. Okay, so my angle is 12 plus 3x. Have I labeled all 3 angles yet? Not yet. What is the measure of the other angle? We already got 90. What did x represent? The measure of the other angle. So what's the measure of the other angle? X. So what you need to write, like a little star somewhere, you'll always have an angle that is x. So one angle is always x. This is the most common mistake. People get 12 plus 3x, and then they don't have the second angle, which would be x. What do we know about the 3 angles in a triangle? They add up to 180, so that's what we're going to do. Let's start with 12 plus 3x. My next angle is just, well, x, and then 90, you're right. I should do it in this order, that's all. Plus 90. And they add up and they equal 180. So on the left, we'll combine. I'm going to combine the numbers first, because why not? What's 12 plus 90? 102. So we got those taken care of. What's 3x plus x? 4x. All right, my next step. Subtract 102. So 4x equals 78. Divide by 4. You will get a decimal, and that is okay. 19.5. So that's what x is. Did it ask what x was? No. It asked the measure of each acute angle. Well, luckily, one of the angles is called x, so technically we found one of them. So one of them is 19.5 degrees. Then we need to find the measure of the other, which was 12 plus 3x. So what are we going to do there?
19
Yep. Plug in and then multiply 3 times 19.5. What's 3 times 19.5? 58.5. Add them together and we get 70.5 degrees. So there is a way to check this. What should the three angles in a triangle add up to? 180. So here's kind of like a shortcut. If you have 180 total degrees, how much is taken up by the right angle? 90. What's 180 minus 90? 90. So what should these two angles add up to? 90. So go ahead and check. 70.5 plus 19.5, and we get 90. And then plus 90, 180. Huzzah. You're going to write off to the side. I'm going to give you kind of some other examples. So just directly off to the side, go ahead and write, we'll say, I'm going to give you 3 examples. 2 times the sum, 2 times, off to the side, the other angle. You're going to have problems like this, so I'm trying to help you. So I would write it. Some of you are just staring at me or staring at nothing. 2 times the difference. These are 3 examples of what you might see in a word problem. And you set them up differently, each of them differently. So you can see 2 times the sum, 2 times the other angle, 2 times the difference. Obviously, the number is interchangeable. You could see 5 times the sum, 5 times, whatever. So if you see this, if you see 2 times the sum, everyone gets this. What does 2 times mean? What's happening there? Multiplication. So 2 times the sum, what does sum mean? Addition. So it's 2 times the addition of 2 things. So here is the problem that students have. When it says 2 times the sum actually means the answer to an addition problem. It means you have to add first and multiply second. So I need to put something here to signify that I would add first and then I would multiply. Can anybody guess what I would put there? Parentheses. So if you ever see 2 times the sum, this is your setup. And you don't even have to have this dot, technically. You would have the number and then parentheses. And it would tell you what you're adding. It would say the sum of the other angle and 10 or something like that. You put those into the parentheses. The second. If you see 2 times the other angle, we've done this one. So this is still multiplication. 2 times, and then what do we always use to represent the other angle? X. So it would be 2x. Because it says 2 times the other angle. The last one says 2 times the difference. So again, it's 2 times something. What does the difference mean? The subtraction. So this means you'll have to subtract first. Oop, that's ugly. You'll have to subtract first and multiply second. So again, you would need parentheses. You will see these types of problems. You'll see one on the classwork today. Okay? Questions about the wording? Okay, go ahead and flip. We're not going to finish both of these, but you are required to finish this one for your notebook check, so make sure you go back for it. We'll do this one super quick since it's easy. What do you know about the 3 angles in a triangle? They add up to 180. How many degrees do we already have taken up by the 130 and the 20? 150. What's 180 minus 150? 30. So the missing angle is 30 here. Again, I'm not going to go through the second problem, but you do need it for the notebook check. So at some point, you do need to go back. All right? So we are going to move on. So we're all in the middle of the page, not working on that problem right now. We're all in the middle, right there, of the page. We're going to talk about the exterior angle theorem. So this is what the rest of the class is about. The rest of the section is about. So we'll talk about it. The measure of an exterior angle. So let's all mark the exterior angle. So we all are on the same page, what we're talking about. So go ahead and mark the exterior angle. the measure of the exterior angle is equal to the sum. What does sum mean? Addition. So equal to the addition of the measure of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So to know what's non-adjacent, you need to know what is adjacent. What angle is adjacent to angle 1? Angle A, angle B, or angle C? Angle C. This one is adjacent. So the two that are non-adjacent would be A and B. So go ahead and mark them. These are non-adjacent. Because what does adjacent mean? They share a wall. So A and B don't share a wall with the outer angle. So here's what you do. You add the sum of the measures of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So to find the measure of the exterior, you're going to add angle A plus angle B, and it will give you the exterior. I'll give you an example in 2 seconds. So angle A plus angle B will give you the exterior. So I'm going to prove this to you. We're saying that these two, when we add these two, they equal the outer angle. Okay, so I'm going to show you with things that we already know. Let's say we had 20 degrees, and let's say we had 80 degrees. All right? How many degrees are inside of a triangle? 180. How many do I already have? 100. So how much is left for this? 80. Okay? What relationship, so we're trying to find the measure of the exterior angle. What relationship do these two angles have? They are adjacent. What else are they? Supplementary, which means they are a linear pair. So what would the measure of angle 1 be if they're a linear pair? It would be 100. So here's what this property says. If you add the two interior, they will equal the exterior. Is that a true statement? Yes, because 20 plus 80 equals 100. I just proved it with all the information you've known previous. Yes? So this property just says you take the two inner angles and they'll add up and equal the exterior angle. And that's it. So let's start here. Find the measure of angle JKM. Tell me in letters, what are the two inner angles? So what are the names of my two inner angles? With the letters, J and L are my two inner angles. So they will add up and they will equal my outer angle. So I'm going to say X plus 70. Those are my two inner angles, X and 70. They will add up and they will equal my outer angle, which is 2x minus 5. And then we solve. So what's my smaller x I need to move? X. So we have 70 equals x minus 5. What's my last step? We'll add 5. All right, so then what does x equal? 75. Did it ask me what x was? It did not. Let me make all this smaller, sorry. So x equals 75. I need to find the measure of JKM, which is the outer angle. You can do this two ways. One way is just to plug it in. So 2 times x minus 5. What did we say x was? Is 75. What's 2 times 75? 150. Minus 5 is 145. So the measure of angle JKM is 145. That's one way to do it. Here's the other way. We know these two angles have to add up and equal the outer. We found what x was. What's x? 75. What's 70 plus 75? 145. So either way you had done it, you would have gotten the correct answer. So my two non-adjacent inner add up and equal my outer. Okay, go ahead and flip. These two add up and equal this one. That's all. All right, what are the letters, the names of my angles, that are on the interior and non-adjacent? What letters? U and T. So I'm going to add them up, and what will they equal? 120, my exterior angle. So I don't know the measure of U, that's what I'm looking for. So what could I call it? X I do know the measure of t, which would be 50. So my two interior add up and they equal my exterior, which is 120. All right, so then all I do is subtract. So x equals 70. I don't have to do anything else because this represents my missing angle. This next one, I have 25 and 80. So these two angles are my interior, non-adjacent to the exterior. So they will add up and they will equal the exterior. So what's 25 plus 80? 105. And that's it. We do one more together. Solve for the measure of AUT. So, what are my two inner angles here? Name one of them. T. So we're going to take that one, which is 5x plus 10. I'm going to add it to my second. What's my second interior angle? 58. And they will equal my exterior angle, which is? 11x plus 2. I'm going to combine like terms on the left. What is 10 plus 58? 68. Now I'm going to move my smallest x. So what here is my smaller x? 5x. So we have 68 equals 6x plus 2. What's my next step? Subtract 2. So we get 66 equals 6x. Divide by 6, and x equals 11. Did it ask me what x was? No. It asked for the measure of AUT. So we are going to plug it back in. Which is currently 11 times x plus 2. So I'm going to plug in my x. So what's 11 times 11? 121 plus 2 is 123. AUT. So that's the outer angle. You could have also plugged it into this angle up here. You would have gotten 5 times 11, which is 55, plus 10 is, and 65 plus 58 still makes 123. So either way you had done it. So here's the problem that students have when they get to do this on the quiz or the test. It's a really big thing that students say you can't study for math. You can study for this. You need to look over it before the quiz and the test. Well, is this like a super difficult concept? No. It's like a memorization, like a routine thing. But if you don't look back and remember to add the two inner and they equal the exterior, you will get it wrong on the test or quiz. So make sure you come back and look at this later. Okay? You're going to take out your textbook and a sheet of paper.